All right. All right. So, oh man, I made that one mix video. I made a whole other one, but I was having technical problems here. Not creative problems, technical problems. But me and Rob wrote 4 songs so far. The response, all the clients are digging the tunes. So that's exciting. So I've got about another week of just focusing on writing. I got lyrics, I got arrangements, and then we're going to go into production after spring break. But check it out. So this is just a fun little video, and this may be way beyond where you may be way beyond where this video is. It depends. I mean, for me, there's a lot of things that I'm like older, and I've been doing this a long time, and there's just certain things I just don't really know. So I wanted to go over some of the delay stuff. I sold the H90. It's gone. I'm back to the just Strymon Trio and some pedals in front of the amp. So what I've got here, real quick, just a rundown. On the left, your left, which is this is the rectifier. Clean. Super clean. And then the right is matchless. Which is clean too, not as surgical, more voxy. Together they're kind of nice. Maybe a little less top on the Mesa. Now I'm kind of listening, making sure. And it's like you can look at your Avocet or your meters to get left and right, but sometimes when you're with guitars, I just have to listen because you can look one way and sound a different way. So when I look here at the Avocet, you could see it down here on the meter. Going a little hotter, a little lower on the Mesa side. I'll turn the Mesa up just a hair. Gets loud quick. All right, that's close enough for rock and roll. So Strat in position 2. So I wanted to go over these divisions. The 2 main that I use are quarter and dotted eighth, and I'll use regular eighth. And the thing when I was mixing this weekend, it occurred to me, and I don't know if I ever was taught it or whatever. I don't know where. I just seen maybe it just was there mentally or something. I don't know. But a lot of times, choosing delay tempos or delay subdivisions with guitar stuff is if the guitar is playing fat, like a lot of notes or moving, maybe slapback is better, or an eighth low. Where quarter would just, everything would be over, you'd be playing a bunch of notes over each quarter division and it would get maybe sloppy. Sometimes you want that though, it depends. But anyway, so here it is. So here's the dry sound. I'm going into the Boss GE7 EQ with a little bit of dip in the middle, a little bit of bump on top, a little bit of a dip at 100. And I've got the Woodshed. That thing is killer, man. I love that's a little compressor, the Andy Wood Sir compressor. That just sounds really nice. All right, so what we did was I set the timeline to 100 BPM. So here's 100 BPM. living after. Okay. So here's quarter notes. I have two presets on my timeline on Bank 99. The first preset is quarter note. The second preset is dotted eighth. And they're both digital, the digital delay. So here's what you can use the tempo. So the timeline is at 100. Right? Now the dotted eighth. And my buddy Greg that used to work at the studio, he always used to do this thing with his chest when he would do dot, dot. That's how he expressed it. Dot, dot. This is big, obviously. I'm doing praise and worship now at church. It's big with church. It's kind of the, Brit pop, U2, Coldplay kind of thing. So here, I'll play it. Here's dotted eighth now. So it's like an eighth plus a half an eighth, I think. I don't know. I just know what it sounds like. It's like I ran, but you can do it with a vibey thing, like a pedally thing. Watch. Or like a chordy thing, which is kind of a lot of the praise and worship. And then you would put probably some reverb on that if you were going to do the chordy thing. Again, this is dotted eighth. I can also turn it up a little bit, add some repeats on the delay. Turn down the delay volume. Turn the verb up. Kind of raggy. And you can put a little chorus on there. And this is all just Strymon. Yeah, it's got that Cure thing, man. Yeah, you can turn the volume of the level of the chorus down. Yeah, make it less. Put maybe a little more reverb, maybe a little more on the delay now. Yeah, and so the thing what it does is like isolated like that with like a superior drummer beat is it's barren, but within a track it can give motion. It can because it kind of keeps it moving. Because the thing I've noticed, and we're doing some tracks that are by bands like, what are these bands? It's like this alternative, like it kind of industrial hard rock, like The Score and Willico or whatever, like these kind of bands. You know, it's almost like that Believer, Believe, like that kind of music, or like the Christian music. A lot of these songs, the tempos are slow. It's like everything's kind of pseudo cut time because that's just the feel, but they're like a lot of these tunes you can kind of dance to. And a part of it is like the guitars in spots playing almost a part of like a shaker, you know, giving that rhythmical. So anyway, that's it. But those are the two mains that I use. Quarter note. At the Roxbury delays. And then dotted eighth. And back to your quarter. All right, kids. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just kind of needed a thing to just do something different. So I dig watching people do mixing videos, but I don't really dig me making them. I don't know that I'm particularly good at it. I don't know. Like I can't. Like once I'm mixing, it's hard for me to explain things. Half the time, I don't always like. I'll know the terminology, but when I'm in the heat of creativity, that part of my brain is shut off, and it's like I'm trying to remember. Like I watched the video from the other day, and it was so many times like I was like I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but at that moment when I'm like digging in and getting creative, I can't think of it. I just can't do it. So a little bit of them are cool, but there's guys like Warren Hewart that are just really good at it, and there's a bunch of dudes that are really good at it. So figure, let them do it, because I'm not that good at it, and I don't, I'm just happy that I can mix, decently nowadays, because mixing was. That it took me. It was like when I went into the military at 28 years old, and I was an athlete as a kid, but I was never like particularly fast. I was more like a Pete Rose, like I was like yo kind of kid. So I was good in sports, but I wasn't like some elite athlete. So fast forward 14, 15 years go by. And I'm like joining the army, and I'm like slow. And I will tell you, I had to work twice as hard as everybody else in basic training to qualify for running. I had to work twice as hard as everybody in basic training to not just qualify, but to be just below average. My last score, my qualification, which everybody was so stoked. I mean, the drill sergeants were running with me at night to help me to not run like he used to say. Drill Sergeant Pughley used to say, "You run like a damn ape or a caveman." He's like, "Stop, don't keep landing on your heels so much." Like, he was, but they loved me and I got through it. But I had to kill myself to just be decent at it. I ended up with 2 miles at 16:08. So I ended up at 8:04 a mile for 2 miles, which that was amazing for me. That was all I had. It wasn't, that there were kids that were running, 12 minutes for 2 miles. There were kids probably 11 and change too. So but 16 was good enough. But also, it's similar with mixing. Like I had to kill myself to like start to get the feel for this, and now I'm getting good. Like when I take mixed out to the car, I'm like, oh, it sounds freaking good, and it sounds like what it sounds like in here, you know. And I don't know if it's just, I don't know if I like my speakers better. I've got the Adam A77Xs, or if it's that I'm just getting better, you know, because I would have things in here and it would sound good, and then I bring it out there and I'd be like, whoa, especially like low end, it would be way too much. And I think that came honestly from mixing on those 1031s, those Jennies for a long time. I don't think those were really conducive to me. I mean, so many people mix on them, but for me, I always felt like I don't know, because they didn't have enough grunt to them. I would try to add all this grunt, and then I get in the car and it'd be too grunty, too much like, So with these speakers, they're more, I don't know, they're just, they have enough grunt, so I don't have to like impose my will on the grunt of the mix. Well, anyway, I'm so glad we did this because after that 2 days of mixing, and it wasn't the mixing went great. It was the issues that I was having with my computer and Pro Tools, and we ended up. It honestly, at the end of the day, there was no issue. Somehow this song was it was just, I don't want to get into it, but yeah, it was kind of, it wasn't necessarily operator error on my part. It just was what it was, as they say. But there you go. So it's going to be going down now. I'm going to show some guitar stuff, and I'm going to show some writing stuff. And then when I get back, we're going to Orlando for spring break. When I get back, it's going to be like a month of tracking. And that's going to be fun. So it's going to be all this, you know, stuff. But I'm happy to have my... I'm glad I did what I did, and I sold the H90 to a dude last night that I know, and he's gonna be excited about it, and it's gonna be perfect for him, and so it's like a win-win. So there you go. Later.